Welcome to the Holistic High Achiever Podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin Rowitz. This podcast is all about thriving in the modern world without sacrificing your health. It's for all of my fellow high achievers, business owners, mompreneurs, single parents, hustlers, and the people who do so much for everyone else, sometimes at a detriment to their own health. The people who want to do it all but really need to find a better way without burning themselves out or continuing to put their own health on the back burner. Yes, we'll talk about health, nutrition, and movement and easy solutions to living healthier, but we'll also cover topics like goal setting, building habits, and overcoming challenges and limiting beliefs, which can be applied to any area, including health, so that you can thrive holistically. Hi Achievers! Today we're going to talk about self-care. And if you just thought to yourself, yeah, right, I don't have time for self-care, then you need this episode. So keep listening, because for the next 12 to 15 minutes, it's going to help you just give you what you need to take you from being super stressed out and overwhelmed to more thinking clear and feeling fulfilled and balanced and most likely even more accomplished than you are right now. Self-care is really just about taking care of yourself so that you can function at your highest level. The problem is we all have stress. Stress from work or our business, stress with kids or other family members, stress from other relationships, stress about finances, you name it. We always just let it pile on, and then we go throughout life fulfilling our obligations, continuing to add things to the pile and add things to our plate, and filling these little pockets of time that we do have with other people's needs. And then all of a sudden, you're feeling burnt out and overwhelmed, and you wonder why. And when you feel overwhelmed and burnt out, that's going to negatively impact the people and the things that you care about most, because they're then not getting the best version of you. Does this sound familiar? And some of you know this, but we do it anyways. So I've been a massage therapist for over 14 years. I've owned a Better Body massage therapy studio for over 12 years. So self-care is obviously one of my favorite topics to talk about. I also acknowledge that self-care looks completely different for everyone. Not everyone wants a massage. Some people fill their cups with walks or reading or cooking or gardening. But what is the same for everyone is stress. Not the source of it necessarily, but the fact that we experience it. On a physiological level, some of the exact same things happen in our bodies. So when you're stressed or your fight or flight response is activated, many of us have heard the term fight or flight, but we don't necessarily know what it means. Fight, flight, or freeze. Try saying that 3 times. But it's basically referring to when your autonomic nervous system, which has 2 branches, sympathetic and parasympathetic, your sympathetic is your fight or flight response. And that's activated when you're stressed. Your parasympathetic is your rest and digest response, which is calming and optimal for healing and digestion and relaxation. It's the la la land response. But basically, fight or flight is a physiological reaction to a perceived threat that prepares your body to either fight or run. It's a survival response. We need it because if you started getting chased by a lion at the zoo, you don't have time to think. You just react, and your body instinctively would do things like raise your heart rate and turn off unnecessary things like digestion so that you can more effectively run or fight for your life. I don't know if those of you would win a fight against a lion, but you could try. So here's the tricky part. Our body can't tell the difference between the stress of being chased by a lion or having excessive family stress. The same things happen inside your body. So when you're stressed, or in other words, you're in the fight or flight response, even if it's a kind of a chronic low-level stress, but that floats with you consistently, it takes a significant toll on your mind and on your body. Your breathing patterns change to shallow breaths. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, your muscles tighten, your digestion slows, it can lead to weight gain, your sleep quality decreases, you're more irritable, you can't focus well, it leads to poor decision making, long-term can lead to anxiety disorders, overall puts you at greater risk for things like heart disease, diabetes, digestive issues, and it can even affect your memory and put you at greater risk for dementia. So these are just to name a few things. And I know I said this episode is all about self-care, so why am I talking about stress? Because I think we can all agree on the negative side of it. We don't want stress. Yet we make excuses to allow it to continue happening because it's just kind of become our normal. It's just what we do. We think things like, that's just how it is right now. But I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be. Now, I'm not saying that by the end of this episode, everything in your life is going to be all rainbows and butterflies, but I hope it at least opens up a door for you to start bring more awareness to your self-care and your stress reduction in your own life so that eventually you can start to tip the scale more and start to feel more balanced. So I want you to think about in your life, what are the biggest stressors for you? Maybe it's work, or just like a specific project at work, or a specific person at work. Parenting, I'm a toddler mom, and he's constantly testing boundaries and patience. This morning he decided to cover his entire body with lotion without my knowing, and I walked in and he was so proud of himself, and he goes, "Mom, I did lotion." I'm like, "Yeah, buddy. Okay." Or maybe your kids are older and you're in the phase of like shuffling them to all the sports and being scheduled to literally be in multiple places at one time. Maybe it's for your relationship with your partner. You're having a hard time communicating or compromising. Maybe there's some tension in another primary relationship in your life. Maybe it's medical. Someone you know or care about is going through something intense. Finance is often a big one for people. Maybe it's not one major thing, but maybe you're shoulding. All the things you really should be making time for and you're not, like losing weight or seeing friends or cleaning out the garage, whatever it is. What is it for you? Think about like your top 1 or 2, maybe 3 stressors. You probably didn't even need all of these examples, to be honest, though, because typically as soon as I say that, these are the easy ones. You're like, I know what it is. I know what's stressing me out. We're often well aware of the problems that are contributing to our shit show. So now I want to flip it. I want you to think of your biggest relaxers. What are some of the things that you truly enjoy, that bring you relaxation, that bring you peace of mind? They don't have to be big. They can be massages if you want to come to a better body. But just think about intuitively what your body or your mind likes to relax and to be calm. There's not a right or wrong answer. And as I said before, this is kind of unique to everyone. It has to resonate with you because, like I said, although I think getting a massage is like the ultimate relaxation, there are people that exist that prefer not to be touched. It's like their worst nightmare. My brother is one of those people. In massage school, we had to practice on people, the things that we were learning. And he was literally the only person that when I offered to give him a massage, he was like, yeah, hard pass. So if you're having a hard time coming up with some things that you intuitively do to relax, I'm just going to throw a few out there that either work for me or that I've come up with clients that work for them to kind of get your gears turning. So things like massages or facials, a hot bath or a hot shower, some gentle yoga, reading, a leisurely walk, meditation, and deep breathing, deep conversation with a good friend, working out, alone time, spending time outdoors, gardening, knitting, crafting, playing guitar, praying, snuggling your cat or snuggling your dog. So see if any of those resonate with you. But here's the cool part. I just listed a bunch of examples and you don't need 20 ideas. You need like 2 to 3 good ones that work for you, that resonate with you. So don't worry if you don't have a list of like 19 things, or if everything on my list didn't resonate with you. It's not intended to. Pick what feels intuitively impactful for you. And now I want you to pick just one of those things. And think about how incredible you'd feel if you made time for just that one thing. Just more often than you're currently doing. And notice how I said if you made time, not if you had time. That was intentional. We all have the same amount of time. And if you truly feel like you don't have the time, we do all go through seasons where we have more stress and less time. And some things have to give or get put on hold or modified. So I want you, to be realistic and think about, is there anything that's currently on your plate right now? Whether it's every day or just on a weekly basis, is there anything you can say no to? Because that's also a form of self-care. Or maybe just delegate it. Could it be delegated if you can't say no? And if you truly feel like you're always stretched for time, I really encourage you to think about this question for a few minutes and dig deep, write it down. What are some of the things on your plate right now that you don't really enjoy? You don't want to be doing. Maybe you said yes to them because out of obligation or guilt or just routine and habit. But see if there's anything you can get off your plate just by saying no to it or delegating it. And if you're still struggling with this, I've thrown a lot of things at you today, but I hope you're understanding the importance of self-care and the impacts of stress on our body. But if at the end of this episode, you're like, I'm still struggling a lot with it, send me a DM. We can set up a take control strategy session to help you figure out why you're stuck and what to do about it. Because sometimes we can't see our own blocks, but if you continue arguing for your limitations, you get to keep them. So if you'd like to not have so many limitations, I invite you to schedule a one-on-one call with me so we can break you out of the rut and get you into intentional forward action. Thank you so much for being here with me on Holistic High Achiever. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired and ready to take on the world one healthy step at a time. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, follow, and subscribe. Even leave a review. It helps so much. And if you're anything like me, you probably thought of someone else who would likely resonate with this. So don't forget to share it with them, because who can't use a little extra motivation? Until next time, keep embracing your journey and kicking ass.